I hope everyone's doing well. My name's Cody, and I wanted to walk through some common questions, complaints, concerns about the touchpad system that's going to be in a lot of your newer Acuras, the 2019 and up, RDXs up until now. The 2026 model year, like the one we're in right now, does have this touchpad system inside. Also, the 22 through 2024 MDXs do have this, and the 21 through 2025 TLXs are also going to have this too. Of course, this touchpad does control your main display screen up here. It's going to look very similar in all RDXs, MDXs, and TLXs with this same system in it. So first, I'd like to go over what each of the buttons do on the touchpad system here. So the first button on the top left is going to be this little arrow here. That is going to be your back button for the touchpad system. Now what this does, so let's say you were in a screen, like for example, you were adjusting the audio inside your car. If you want to go back to the previous page, what you would do, you press this button here, you're going to see on the screen, it's going to go back to the previous page in the settings. So if you needed to adjust something else, it'll take you right back there where you wanted to go. Now I've reset the screen to the same page that we were on before. So you're inside your audio settings right here. But instead of wanting to go back to the previous page, let's say you're done adjusting your settings. What you would do now, you're gonna press this little house icon. That's gonna be your home button, just like on your iPhone or Android phone. You press that, and it takes you back to your main home page, which is this page right here. Now for the button in the top right here, it looks like a box with a little line on the corner of it. Now this box actually only has one function, so let's go ahead and press that. So on the screen up here, on this little sidebar, you're gonna see it now says now playing audio, navigation, or clock. That just allows you to see the menu of different things that can appear on the right side of your display screen inside your RDX, MDX, or TLX. Now to cover the main section of the touchpad itself, which is this larger square right here. So the main thing to know about this touchpad is where your finger is at on this touchpad does matter for selecting things on the screen. As an example, so if you put your finger in this left corner, you're gonna see the left corner is highlighted up here as well. And I'm just lightly resting my finger on here. I'm not hardly pressing it down or anything like that. And as I move my finger to the bottom corner, you're gonna see it highlight here. Same thing as I move slightly towards the middle, it's gonna highlight up there as well. And then if I move all the way around, all I'm doing right now with my finger is moving it around in a circle here. You can see it gradually go between each one, and I can stop in the middle here and kind of estimate and see it's gonna go right towards the middle there. So for as an example, let's say I wanted to go to Sirius XM, which is gonna be in the middle top right. And all you would do, so you're first gonna place your finger on the touchpad. It landed right here for me. So all I'm gonna do is slide my finger slightly over until I see it highlighted up here where it says Sirius XM. Now, once you're highlighted, you're gonna push down one time. You don't wanna hold it down. You just wanna push down, but you also don't wanna lift your finger up off the touchpad because it can reset your positioning, and that will load Sirius XM right up for you. Now, another thing you can do with the touchpad too, you can also hold down that same button. So let's slide back over to Sirius XM like I was before. And instead of pressing down one time, I'm going to press and hold down. And now it pops up this page, and I just released it. So once you see this, you can now slide with your finger. You can slide around here, and you can move Sirius XM. Like say I want it to be next to phone and navigation rather than over there kind of towards the middle. And then I would just click down one time, and that's gonna move it over there. Now you're still in edit mode right now. You'll see it right there at the top. So to leave edit mode, you're actually gonna use your back button right here. When I press that, it takes you back out of edit mode. Now another function for that long press that we just did to move around icons on the home page is gonna be to set your radio favorites. So I'm gonna put my finger back on the touchpad here, and I'm just gonna slide up with my finger here, and you can see you can move around on this page the same way you did on the home page. I'm gonna slide down to hits one. I'm gonna hold that down, and then once that little top bar pops up, you can release it. And then it's gonna pop up where you can remove, replace, or add it to home page. So all I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna slide over the exact same way that I have been, slide to replace with channel 215, click down, and that's gonna replace it there, and it automatically takes you out of that screen as well. Now another function is gonna be the swipe function of the touchpad. So if you swipe quickly, and you can hear it doing something, I'll show you what it's doing in just a moment. I can swipe either direction. It's just a quick swipe, left or right. That's gonna move you around on your home page. And see, that's gonna let me toggle between all my different applications inside the system. Now one more function of this horizontal swipe is going to be to toggle between your favorites on your radio stations here. So if I do that same swipe left or right, it's going to actually move this favorites bar to the side. You can have up to about 20 different favorite stations right here. And all I'm doing is just swiping my finger, and your placement on the pad does not matter. I can do it at the top or I can do it at the bottom. It's still going to move it around the exact same way, and then you can access all of your different favorite channels that way. Additionally, this same swipe function does work vertically if you are in a list with, for example, your settings. See, as I swipe up and down, you can hear it doing it again. And I'll show you what it looks like on the screen here. I'm just doing that quick flip up or down to move around this page. One last function that I would like to go over with the touchpad is actually going to be in your navigation setting. So if you go over here to your navigation, it'll pull up your maps right here, and you can actually click on Explore right here in the middle, and it pops up this little window box here. Now what you can do, you have to use two fingers, And you can see as I'm using 2 fingers, I can drag around the map. So if I was near something that I wanted to find on the map, or I was out of state and I couldn't find an exit, for example, I can see how to get to this nearest exit right here, which is very nice. Now lastly, for the little sidebar on the very edge of the pad here. So I'm gonna go first and show you by pressing this button here. And you can slide your finger around on this pad. It works the same way, so it is mirrored. So you can slide your finger up and down, just like I'm doing here, and that's actually gonna mirror up here onto the screen. And you can click down the same way to select different items. For example, I'm gonna push down on clock one time here, and it pops up the clock. Another way to move around that side screen is gonna be to use the same vertical swipe feature like we practiced on the main pad. You can see as I do that same feature, it's gonna rotate between the map, navigation, or your audio settings, or your clock settings up here as well. There is one last thing you can do with the touchpad as well. It's gonna be this very top bar right up here where it says the time and has a little Wi-Fi symbol there. You can actually take your finger and slide to the very top and it will highlight it. And when you press down, that's gonna show you any vehicle notifications that you have. If you have an update for your car or there's any other issues. Right now, it's just gonna let me know that I'm connected to the Acura Link network, which is gonna be your roadside assistance and a variety of other things you can get with the car, and does come included for free with the purchase of your new RDX, MDX, or TLX. One last thing that I would like to briefly touch on is why they decided to put the touchpad system inside the RDXs. So the reason they actually decided to do this is going to be because whenever you have to reach forward to touch the touchscreen, you can see your field of view is going to change, just like the phone is right now where my head is. So what happens when you do that, your hand-eye coordination with the steering wheel and all sorts of other movements are going to be impacted by that. Even when you press on the gas or the brake pedal can be affected as well. And it's actually a safer system when I can just sit back here and use this to control the radio rather than having to lean forward to do it and change my field of view.